You are looking live here at DNA HQ here in beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah. What's going on, AJ?
What's up, dude? How you doing today?
I'm living the dream, man. Can't you tell?
I can actually tell. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
First
I
of all,
wake up every morning and try to be like Darren. You know what I mean?
it's tough. It's really tough, you know?
It is. It is. Especially because I know how your days go.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, everybody, welcome. Once again, if you're watching this on Utah Jazz DNA or DNA Sports Recap, we are streaming on both channels. Once again, thank you to everybody, all 5,300 of you that are on Utah Jazz DNA, our fastest growing channel. That I'm still shocked every time I look at the sub count, guys. You're killing it.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love the engagement we're getting in the in the chat. In the comments after this video is posted every single week. It's just been so awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
It's been a lot of fun. We appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Before we jump into it, man, we got to do our pre-show cheers.
Absolutely.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you guys.
As a reminder, folks, this is a live stream. So if you're watching this live on Utah Jazz DNA or on DNA Sports Recap, jump into the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. AJ wants to know your favorite color.
As long as it's red.
That's right. We want to hear from you guys. Let us know what your thoughts are and what we're talking about. This is meant to be an interactive show. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on the cheers there. Channel legend Greg Hawkins, thank you for joining us. We've actually for those of you who don't know, we actually have a whiskey review channel as well.
We do.
And we did a review on this one. And we will eventually get that one up. And it will be on both the whiskey channel as well as our baseball channel, which we'll be talking baseball a little bit later. So if you're on our Utah Jazz channel, just know that we sign off after we talk Jazz basketball. If you want to join us on DNA Sports Recap, join us on that. And if you're listening on the podcast, hey, join us every Wednesday, 7:30-ish, depending on the day, Mountain Standard Time.
It was one time, Darren. Okay.
Oh, if it was only one time. If it was only one time.
It was only once. Fair enough.
I gave you a walk away on that one. I just said ish. I didn't
I know.
do anything. I just kind of gave it an ish to, you know.
It still felt pointed. Okay.
That's great. All right, folks. But again, we want to thank you all for joining us. Jump in the chat. Let us know we're talking. Let us know where you're watching from. Let's go ahead and jump into our first subject. Again, folks, join us in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. We're going to jump in and talk a little bit about the Utah Jazz.
Let's do it. Before we get to the content, we like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Utah Jazz DNA. Smash that like button for your boy Darren.
That's right. All right, man. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Once again, folks, jump into the chat. Let us know what your thoughts are. We're going to start with our first subject of the day, which is something I think we need to start talking about. We've had a lot of conversation this week, and not this week, but a lot of conversation around a bunch of players on this team, AJ.
Yeah.
We're starting to see a lot of folks actually focusing this week on a player that we'd like to highlight this week, which is our guy, Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah, our top 3 pick that slid to number 7?
5.
Sorry, 5. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right. It was 5 last year. Sorry, I'm just so used to that number 2 pick. I just don't remember.
Yeah,
how
that
the
was
other ones.
seems years ago,
Seems
man.
Years ago. But yeah, Ace Bailey's been seen working out with KD, getting stepping up his game on those burner accounts, as well as some time with Dwayne Wade. Put in the work this summer, man. You love to see it. With the addition of Darren Williams.
Wow, Darren Williams is back.
He's been in the press a lot lately. Have you been seeing him?
I have seen it. I don't think he's back on the Jazz though.
He was in our war room when we drafted Darren Peterson.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with the addition of Darren Peterson and Keontae George breaking out last year, Utah's second-year player Ace Bailey finds himself in a very interesting situation on the bench, AJ. Now, we here at Utah Jazz DNA always want our best players to remain healthy and play their best, perform all to what they can, and we hope that both KG3 and DP play healthy and don't suck at all. So that means Ace is going to be coming off the bench. With that said, AJ, that's going to be his best option. The best place for him to show that he's succeeding in that role is Sixth Man of the Year.
Absolutely.
So the best way you can succeed is in that role. What are your thoughts on a potential of our boy Ace becoming Sixth Man of the Year?
Yeah, I mean, when you pull up like the the sixth man of the year statistics, like over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I got those for us here. So we've got 2025 to 2026. We have Keldon Johnson from the San Antonio Spurs. He averaged 13.2 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and shot 51% from the field. The year before him was Peyton Pritchard from the Boston Celtics. He was 14.3 points per game, 3 rebounds, almost 4 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 42% from the field. And then my favorite player on this list, AJ, Naz Reid. Naz Reid from the Timberwolves won Sixth Man of the Year in 2023 to 2024 season, averaging 13.5 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and just under a block a game, shooting 47% from the field.
Yeah. So, I mean, based on those statistics purely, last 3-4 winners, right? I think it's absolutely possible. I mean, if we can get Ace to right about that 15 points per game range, I think he's got to increase his three-pointing percentage. He was pretty low, I think in like the 34% range. That'll help his scoring average. Got to be right in that 15 points, right? All the players you just said were right in the 13, 14. I think if he gets up to 15 points, he's right in the running. We are going to need him to get a little better as a rebounder, right? We got to probably get him up to about 5. We actually did a whole nother video on where the Jazz are going to be rebounding. Make sure you guys check that video out. I'll put the link up there. But his average right now is just above 4. So I think his assist number will climb. He's obviously going to get a lot more minutes playing with guys that can actually shoot. And he's just done a great job kind of drawing extra defenders. And he's shown pretty good vision on the floor while he's out there to, find an open shooter. So I think that'll help his assist numbers. Like you mentioned earlier, if you've been following Ace on social media this year, you can see how much work he's been putting in this year. Like this offseason has been, he's trying to grow. He wants to be that guy. He's been soaking it up from, some of the NBA greats, previous and current. So he's got a shot to be right in the running to be NBA Sixth Man of the Year.
I like it, man. I like it. So did you see his projected stats for next year?
I did not.
So Ace Bailey's projected stats for the 2026-2027 season are 15.5 points per game,
okay,
4.75 rebounds, 2 assists, and the only stat that I see as being negative is the 45% field goal percentage. That's by ESPN, and the stats are pretty similar on NBA.com for his projected stats for next season. I think these are all great baseline stats. Again, his points are going to be higher at 15.5, so you'll love to see that. He's going to be higher on points. He is going to be, again, below. I actually went to the top 10, and there's actually only 2 players that won Sixth Man of the Year awards that actually had below 45. So not the best, so we'll have to see that efficiency go up a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, this is just projection. Honestly, I think if he's putting up 15.5 points, his field goal percentage isn't going to be that low. Because just again, that's just the amount of touches that are going to be there for him, So honestly, I think he's got the great position to be in that. I do think he does have the ability to contribute at that level, and I look forward to seeing, again, obviously we want to see him succeed in that role because again, that means if he's not in the starting role, that means something bad happened. So
yeah, absolutely.
So we want to have the best chance for this team to succeed is him coming off the bench as a sixth man.
And I think that's the most important thing we could say here, right?
Yeah.
Is we need Ace to be the sixth man because that means everybody's healthy, everybody's good, especially those 2 key players and Darren Peterson and Keontae George. If those guys can keep healthy, we want one of those guys to be the first guy off the bench. That's important to the Jazz this year to get Ace in there in that 2-3 guard, however you want to slot it, and really help this team score the basketball when one of those guys come off the floor.
Yeah, or unless some other folks who have shows on YouTube about the Utah Jazz, and the only other way we can have that is if they get what they want, and that's Larry Marketing getting traded sometime, which we are firmly against on this channel. We've gone pretty wholeheartedly on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting the Laurie trade off the table in 2 or 3 seasons, whatever. But this season,
I'm not.
Absolutely not.
I'm not taking it off the table even by the end of this year, right? If there's been some, obviously, if the chemistry doesn't work, if there's just a whole bunch of defensive holes, even though this team is very large, right?
Yeah.
If there's a whole bunch of defensive holes that we need to swap him out for somebody that's a lot more defensively minded, and then bring in Ace Bailey as that 3 spot, then that makes sense. But this year, I think it would be absolutely ridiculous to trade him this year, in my opinion.
Yep. No, I'm totally with you.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. What are your thoughts regarding Ace Bailey? I mean, do you think he's going to be predominantly coming off the bench? Do you see him in a starting role at any point this year? There might be some times where we see that just simply because of,
maybe matchups. Yeah.
Well, also, and you got to think about Darren Peterson. He didn't play even a full college season last year, so like there might be some rest that's going to be necessary.
I also think the rookie wall is real. I think he can come out and play 30, 40 games and probably look great, but
yeah,
an NBA season is long, dude.
Yeah, that's where you're really going to enjoy the depth. You can bring in Ace starting off that role, keep his minutes low. Even if you want to give him the day off, you got Bryce Sensabaugh that can come in and fill some serviceable minutes there.
Yep.
In that position. So yeah, I love the depth. I think it's a good option either way. I think Ace is going to have his chance to sign. And again, what's the most important quote that you've ever heard from Coach Sloan? It's not about who's starting; it's about who's finishing.
Yep.
So that's what we want to see.
Yep, absolutely. And we could see Ace out there finishing, man.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's go ahead and get into our next subject here, AJ. And man, this is, I got to just say, man, we're in the dog days of August, AJ.
You don't say.
Yeah. Dog days of August, man. And the talking points around the Utah Jazz are starting to get a little thin. And at least until fall camp opens up anyway. When we start to see things pick up, we'll start having more subjects to talk about. But one subject that has been suggested by one of our subscribers, and again, folks, jump in the comments, jump in the chat if there's a subject that you want us to cover, between now and tip off. We'd love to hear from you so we can, put these episodes out the way you guys want to hear it. We got a great question from one of our subscribers, and that was, how is MLB expansion going to impact the Utah Jazz if they land a team? It's a great question, right?
It's a great question.
I have thoughts on this, AJ. I have thoughts.
I'm ready.
So let's start with the chance that Utah actually gets a team, right? So it was announced if they made an announcement today, and we are one of the top 2 cities to get it, right? There's obviously Memphis that's going to get the team, but we're going to be the team out west to get a team. We're in the top 2 of potentials. We have the most state money available. We have a shovel-ready site. And we also have the ownership group committing billions, more money than anybody else to that project. The only issue that we're running into, AJ, is going to be a lockout. If we lose games, maybe a lot of games, we are putting ourselves in a position where the league is going to lose revenue and also lose fan engagement for several years. This might push back the ability for us to have an expansion in Major League Baseball. But other than that, man, I think we're pretty safe. I mean, other threats like, in the NHL experiment, if that one doesn't work out, that might throw a wrench into this. Just look what happened with Phoenix back in the day and us running into a similar issue. That could also be a possibility. But let's just say it all works out. And in 2031, we have a baseball team in Salt Lake City, right?
Oh, yeah.
How do we see that impacting the Utah Jazz?
I mean, first of all, how awesome would it be to have baseball here, right? Like,
as long as it's an American League team.
Dude, the thought of having, I can't wait to have, a homestand and, show up for a few ball games in a week.
That'd be so great.
Just be out in the stands and hanging out. And, I mean, as far as the effect on Jazz fans, I think you have pretty separate fan bases. You got Jazz fans who are just so passionate. And I think you could see a lot of people show up to a baseball game kind of early in the day and then, attend a Jazz game in the evening, because the thought of that just sounds so good to me. Like 2 professional sports in the same day. We just, with the 2
Money
current
bags
teams.
Over here. Jeez.
I know, but baseball games aren't crazy, right? Especially a local.
You've been to a Bees game?
Yeah. Okay. Bees game is that's a good
triple X.
point. That is a good point. Okay. I've gone to MLB games for cheaper than Bees games. So, but I think the fun part is we haven't been able to go to 2 games because they play in the same arena. You can't. It's not like they're going to have a hockey game in the morning and a basketball game at night. So the thought of having 2 professional sports games in the same day, sounds awesome. And I guess knowing that's how I feel, as just a professional sports fan, I know there's going to be kind of a lot of people that feel the same way. So I think the toughest part for some of these baseball fans is going to be, cheering for your current team and still trying to be a Utah baseball fan. But I think these are problems we all want to have. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I get it, man. I totally get where you're coming from. I don't think MLB would impact the Utah Jazz at all for several reasons. First of all, it complements way better than an NHL team does. The seasons aren't exactly the same time; they're at different times of the year. When the NBA's in playoff mode, baseball season's barely starting. Right, you're just getting out of spring training. The first 20 games are coming in, and you're still seeing some of the, so it's not necessarily issues there.
Yeah.
And if the team from Utah in baseball makes it to the playoffs, well, again, the Jazz season just started, so there's not going to be a whole lot of overlap there. Again, there's going to be comparisons to what's happened in Phoenix versus what happened here, since, we did steal their hockey team.
It happens.
Sorry, folks in Phoenix. And there was a lot of people who already said that both with issues with the Diamondbacks and the Suns, both having disputes over funding for their arenas, which is usually a prerequisite for people wanting to move their franchise. I think people are looking at that and seeing it draw parallels with Utah. The thing is, as long as we can if we can make hockey and the NBA work together in the same arena, I think if we throw in Major League Baseball at a different time of year in a completely different arena, and actually have this amount of support that we've had good support for baseball here.
Oh, yeah.
At a AAA level, even down to the rookie ball level. So shout out to my Salt Lake Trapper fans out there. Do you know that team was owned by Bill Murray?
I did not know that.
It was so cool. So cool. Anyway, so yeah, I think just simply because of that, again, and we already know the cost of how it's going to impact the fans. Like I mentioned, if you go to a Bees game, you are paying more money for that than majority of Major League Baseball games you're going to. Oh my goodness, man. That stadium's a great place to go watch a ball game. There's not a bad seat in the house.
Right.
Unless you need to use the bathroom. Then you have to go, and you're in the upper deck and you're not part of the bar seats. Then you have to go all the way downstairs. But
that's bad.
That is bad. But their seats are cushioned, which is nice.
Yeah.
But there's really no bad space in there. But honestly, yeah, prices are absolutely insane for a minor league ball team out there. I don't know what they're thinking. But yeah. I don't know, man. I think we're perfectly good there. I think we'll be okay. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Do you see, if Major League Baseball was to expand, do you see that team having any impact on Jazz fans, simply being able to want to watch basketball? I just don't see that happening. I think this town is always going to be a basketball town first.
Yeah.
And then baseball will probably slate in kind of right after hockey, above soccer, probably.
Yeah.
It's my guess, I don't know. We want to hear from you.
I would
folks.
think so. Yeah.
We want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. We got a comment here from
Calamari Atari.
Calamari Atari. Perfect. Let's go Ace. Absolutely, man. It's going to be a good year for him, man. I'm really looking forward to it. Like it's got out of that rookie year. Spent a lot of time in the off season. It's going to be exciting. Got a comment here from Sydney McElreath.
What up, guys?
What up? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in the chat for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So again, just a lot of good stuff coming from the Utah Jazz. Again, folks, you're watching this on our live stream. And if you're watching this on the show after the fact on Utah Jazz DNA, jump in the comments. Let us know what subjects you'd like us to cover during this off season while we're waiting for fall camp to open up for the next upcoming season. And we want to chat with you. We want to know. We want to keep the show relevant for you guys. So let us know what you guys want to talk about. Now, AJ, before we move on from the Utah Jazz, I do want to bring up something that actually dropped today.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of news today. I have mentioned this several times on this show, AJ, and I will continue to mention it one more time because it was only prevalent to now, but it's now no longer prevalent. We talked a lot about how the Dodgers are dominating baseball lately, right? So that's something that, and we get a lot of fans that say, oh, it's just so annoying. The Dodgers are so dominant in baseball since the new ownership came. And I just said, well, just watch out, man, because the Lakers are coming. The Dodger owner group that owned the Lakers was bringing in the same front office to revamp how the Lakers ran their show. They were bringing in the right scouts, the right nutrition people, the right front office people, the right analytics people. You had Andrew Friedman of the Los Angeles Dodgers, the guy who built the Dodgers into the team that they are, sitting in front office meetings on how to shape the Lakers and go through all that process.
Yeah.
Right. So that team was going to be the Dodgers of the NBA in the next couple of years.
I hope not.
But we don't have to worry about that now, do we?
Not at all.
It is announced that the Dodgers ownership group Walters primarily. Forget the name. Correct me in the channel if I'm in the chat there with a full name there. But the ownership group that owns the Walters, I believe, that owns the Dodgers and also Chelsea in the English Premier League has officially sold the team. They bought it for $10.5 billion and just sold it for $12.5 billion.
It's pretty good profit, man. Make a couple bill
in 8 months.
Yeah. That's insane, dude.
What are your thoughts, man? Other than the price, obviously, he made a good job. Why do you think that the Dodgers ownership group decided to sell the Lakers this fast?
I think it's got to be, probably a whole bunch of things. Realistically, that is a lot of capital to kind of tie up. I mean, and anytime you can make $2 billion, I think you kind of jump at that opportunity, especially if you're an ownership group. And I don't know if you've seen the Dodgers payroll lately. They're going to have to be paying some of that money out. So they're like, oh, we can put $2 billion in the bank. That'll pay Shohei Ohtani for like half a season. So
speaking of which, we'll talk about that when we get into baseball. But yeah, I have my thoughts on this one, AJ.
Yeah.
Great video by AM Hoops, by the way. So if you get a chance to watch it, he goes into a little bit more detail than this, but this is exactly what I thought when I saw this news come down. And I don't think it has anything to do with the whole investigation into, how he was able to buy the team. That group owns a lot of insurance companies, and they borrowed money from their other companies to buy the Dodgers. I mean, and then to buy the Lakers from, and then it was all on the up and up, right? They even had it like approved by the regulators. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
And now they're investigating into other ways that he's kind of done that in the past. And people are thinking, oh, he's just selling the Lakers now, so he doesn't have to deal with that kind of thing. I actually think it's a lot more specific than that. And AM Hoops went into a great video on this one. So I think if we can find it, I'll send it to you so you can link it in the description.
Yeah. If he finds it, I'll put it up there.
But I think what really happened is after that 8 months, I think he looked around and been like, yeah, this team's screwed. We're out.
I mean, you buy the Dodgers when they have LeBron James on their roster. And
LeBron James is on the Dodgers? Wow.
Yeah, he is.
Where's he playing?
Well, he's going there too. They're going to pay him probably $800 or $900 million and defer that. So,
Nice. League minimum, dude. We'll defer that too.
Yeah, defer it all.
Can you imagine LeBron James making more money than Shohei Ohtani on the Dodgers?
Unfortunately, yes. Yes, I can, because he's LeBron James.
Yep. But yeah, no, I think what happened was he brought in the front office. They're like, okay, let's do this the same way we did with the Dodgers, right? There is no Andrew Friedman to go poach. Like, that's Sam Presti. He's not leaving the Thunder. The front office isn't leaving the Spurs.
Yeah.
Right? You have it's not like Major League Baseball. That second apron makes it almost impossible for the Dodgers to do in the NBA, the same ownership group, what they did in the NBA, in the Major League Baseball to do what they're going to do in the NBA.
Makes it much more difficult. Absolutely.
It is much more difficult. Obviously this the Lakers are going to be talented. They have, they have Luka, but that's really it. They don't have anybody. They don't have any assets. Don't have any future assets. The draft capital's all dried up. They spent all the money.
They had a couple of draft assets left, and they traded them for Walker Kessler.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they just kind of looked around and realized, crap, we're in it. We're stuck.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
this could be really bad, and it's our fault.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Bob Iger, Mr. Mickey Mouse himself, comes calling and says, hey, we wanted to buy that expansion team coming in Vegas, but they're saying that's going to cost $10 billion to have that team. Why not buy the prestige Lakers for a couple more billion? What's another couple bill?
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, we'll pay you $12 billion for that. And the Dodgers ownership group is like, sold.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how we realized, crap, we screwed this up. We got to get out of this.
Yeah.
I think that's more, I'm not saying that that's the only reason, but I'm willing to bet you that's a big, big part of it.
I just hope the Lakers start losing.
I don't really care if they lose. Like I already mentioned that they were not going to be as good as the Jazz in our last video.
Oh, I know. We saw all about it in the comments too.
Yeah, and then on top of that, they just lost the smartest ownership group in professional sports. Like it's going to be like, sorry, what is the guy who ran Disney going to know how to how to field a basketball team? How's the Kushner brother, going to know how to run the team? Or like what are they going to know how to filled out this team? Like, I'm sorry, you lost the opportunity to have the best front office in professional sports run your team, man, and you just kind of punted it. You didn't do it. So like, yeah, I'm not worried about the Lakers anymore. I'm not. I don't think it really makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
We got some comments here we want to get to. First one I want to jump into here is Jordan B. Carril? Jordan B. Surreal 7488. Did I say that right?
Probably.
I've heard it both ways. He says here, I miss the nostalgia of Dirk's Field. Absolutely, that was what the field was called when the Trappers were here, before your time.
Way before my time.
Yeah, I would have thought Ace would be in the starting lineup. That is coming from J Juro 5059. Yeah, I mean, you would think he would be, but who's not playing in the starting lineup?
And that's the thing is we talked about this in a previous episode, right? Like the big thing is if you push Ace into the starting lineup, you put him at the 3, so you move Laurie to the 4 and Triple J to the 5. It looks okay on paper, but is that the most effective lineup for the Jazz to stay defensively tough? I think you have, a second-year player in Ace Bailey. I think Keontae's been better on defense, but is he ready to step up defensively? You take Nurk out, at really being almost a 7-footer that's going to help you defensively. I think Ace fits better with the second unit. That's why we're projecting him to be, as the first man off the bench versus in the starting 5.
Yeah, we both hope that Triple J is not the starting center on this team.
Yeah, we pulled some stats, and statistically, he's been better at the 4. I think he provides a little bit more flexibility at the 4. His defensive presence is better at the 4. He's not a great, post-up defender. He's more of he's a better help defender.
A roamer.
That's where he's had his best years. That's why we want to see him there.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. I mean, we're not opposed to it. I just think that there is also some, interesting situations. If you put Laurie at the 4, he's probably one of the worst defenders in the league at his size, outside of Chet Holmgren. Oh, shots fired.
Oh, too soon. Too soon for Thunder fans. It's okay. They don't watch the show anyway.
Yeah. Unless we say something about that team, then they definitely jump in. We got another comment here from Michelle McKinnon 403. If the Jazz tickets are more affordable, maybe more people would be able to afford to see them instead of baseball. Disappointing baseball is so expensive. Yeah, man. Professional sports is not getting cheap. I mean, it's one of the only things worth paying television for. Now that everybody's cutting cords and going streaming, that's really the only main reason why anybody still has paid cable is specifically for sports. And
it's the only reason, and I only pay for it half the year.
Yeah, so
football season is the only time I pay for cable.
Yeah, so it's just kind of the way it is, I mean, almost anything live that you go to is expensive nowadays.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. You can't go to anything now.
But cheaply. it is worth it. There's nothing better than sitting in a ball field or sitting in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The Delta Center and hearing the roar.
Yeah, and
can't beat it.
With the Bees there, they do have their discount rates. They do also have their field pricing. They do still have some of their other stuff. Standing room only.
They try. They can get cheap. You can get in there cheaper.
Yeah, you can get in there cheaper, and you could also get like family nights and stuff where it's pretty cheap. But
yeah, my problem is I'm a guy that likes to sit on a sideline.
I like to sit on a sideline. I like to sit close.
Yeah,
and I don't want to plan it out for a Thursday family night when there's 16 kids that need to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes, cutting in between me.
Yeah,
I just don't have those needs anymore. I kind
of no, your knees are bad. Yeah, your knees are way bad. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to do that. So I just So the few times I get to go, I want to enjoy it for sure.
Yeah.
We also have another comment here from Michelle McKinnon. I already have to snipe Dodger games this year. Oh, okay. So you were going to go to a Dodgers game. Yeah. The Dodgers, gosh, that team's payroll is got to be paid for somehow. And unfortunately does trickle down to the ticket prices. Don't expect those to ever go down either with that team for sure. We got to pay for that Scooball contract next year. Too soon?
Anywhere but the Dodgers.
Check out that video on Major League DNA. We'll get somewhere. We got Kyler Mallory, Atari, 8 viewers on one and 1 like. Let's pump up those like numbers. Heck
yes, absolutely. Thank you, Calamari Atari.
Thank
you guys go ahead and hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Yeah, let's get it.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Got a comment here from Greg Hawkins, Channel Engine. LeBron could play right field in LA. If you know, that's where Kyle Tucker plays.
Yeah.
Who, believe it or not, is actually playing well over the last couple of games. Believe it or not, but
I like to see LeBron James try to hit a fastball.
Oh, dude, it would never happen. It would never happen. Austin Reeves, yes, dude.
Go down. Next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin Reeves is sneaky good, but he's 50-50. This is coming from Sid. So on that one, I agree. But again, both him and Luka, no defensive capability with those two. I mean, there's no effort.
If your whole plan is to shuffle everybody into Walker Kessler, it's not a bad plan, but at some point teams can scheme around it. I mean, we saw it with the Jazz in the 2019-2020 season with Rudy Gobert.
And Kessler's no Rudy.
The whole plan was to to funnel players into Rudy Gobert. They really struggled, and they schemed him out essentially, because they knew he couldn't shoot. Walker also can't shoot. So you run into problems, especially when it comes to playoff time, especially, that it'll be fun to see.
For sure. Another comment here from Calamari. Atari. I'll get that right eventually, guys. Don't worry about it. We can run with Nurkic as the starting center, only Jazz player to ever hit 5 straight triple doubles.
And then they corrected it to 3 straight below.
Yeah, 3 straight correction. Yeah. But yeah, dude, that's the other thing about tanking, man. It just made it created a whole bunch of
it created these like ridiculous statistics.
Weird stat games, man. I mean, what was that one game where there was 5 players that scored a triple double or something in one game?
Yeah.
Like it got insane, dude. Or no, wait, not 5 players. It was the Jazz had 5 players in 5 straight games getting a triple double, right? Or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, special shout out to great Jazz legend Russell Westbrook.
Oh yeah. He was signed to the Jazz for like 3 days before they waived him.
Twice. He was traded to the Jazz, and he was waived both times. But that infamous meme where he's like, "What? What you talking about?" That was in the Delta Center when he said that. He's like, someone asked him the question, "Did you guys win this game, or did the Utah Jazz lose this game?" And that was his answer. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man? That's something that gets used in every meme. That's right here in Utah. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
As a reminder, folks, we are streaming both live on Utah Jazz DNA as well as our main channel, DNA Sports Recap. We are about to sign off here on Utah Jazz DNA. So as Calamari Atari stated there, on your way out, please smash that like button for us. It makes AJ very happy.
It does. I get so excited when I see that there's more than like 1 like on video.
We love it. Again, shout out to all 5,300 of you continuing to grow this channel. It does not fall flat on us there on how important that is. This channel was not even 500 subscribers before the draft.
That's correct.
Before the lottery. And we've just kind of watched this channel grow to what it is. And it's all for you guys, man. We love the interaction. We wanted a space for Utah Jazz fans to be able to come talk where the other person doesn't have invested interest in the team.
Yep.
That's kind of where we wanted this to be.
That's what we're here for.
We love that you guys are engaged with us, and we want to keep that going. So keep it going. We love to see it. Good to catch this one live. Thanks for the show, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Calamari.
Absolutely.
Atari. Next week, dude, I'll nail it first try. Promise.
He's not going to. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. All right, folks. Again, once again, folks, join us every week. We'll be here Wednesday, 7:30 start time. We'll start talking Utah Jazz DNA first. And we're going to sign off on this channel. If you are watching on Utah Jazz DNA, a channel to our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, is in the description now. Click on that and join us over there if you want to talk Utah football and some Major League Baseball. We'll be doing that over there.
Absolutely. See you guys over there. Thanks for watching. We'd like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Utah Jazz DNA if this is the type of content that you enjoy. While you're down there, smash that like button for your boy Darren.
That's right. All right, man. So again, great Jazz conversation. If you guys are joining us again on DNA Sports Recap, we were just chatting about the Utah Jazz. Now we're going to jump into it, talk a little bit about your Utah football.
Let's do it. Before we get into the content, we'd like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Utah Football DNA. Make sure you smash that like button for your boy Darren.
That's right. All right, man. Let's go ahead and jump into it. AJ, we've got some thoughts we want to talk a little bit about when it comes to the University of Utah this week. Fall camp's opening up. Not a whole bunch of huge storylines coming out of that this week.
No.
I always like to wait a couple of weeks before we start diving into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is the Utes have a lot of players that they know are going to be in those positions, right? Like there's a couple questionable groups and stuff like that, but we'll wait till we get a little bit closer, make sure injuries aren't happening, that kind of stuff, right? We got a few weeks.
Yeah, and most Big 12 teams, they don't even let them out on the field, like the press out on the field to watch practices, except for like the kickers. Like I think that was the biggest story. Is like, hey, you guys come out and watch practice, and it's just for the last 5 minutes to watch the kickers.
Yeah, and Utah football actually live streamed their kickers.
Yeah,
did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. That's crazy. And obviously, we don't want to sit here and bore you guys with the interviews there. You probably absorbed enough of that from everybody in local media on that one. So we wanted to kind of shift the focus a little later in the season. We did that last week where we skipped over the game against Idaho and went right into the game against Arkansas. But we're going to do that again and shift it even further, AJ. Let's kick it out even a little further.
Yeah.
I think this one we're going to go a little bit further out. We're going to need to talk about the Holy War.
Yes, sir.
Now, this, I think we got one that is, if not one of the most important rivalry games in Utah BYU history.
How about in all of college football?
Well, I don't know about that. All of college football, I'm not huge into.
It's got to be one of the biggest ones. It's got to be top 10.
I'm pretty sure the old BCS days, there's a few games over there in the SEC that really kind of shaped how that all shaked out for a national championship. So I don't know. I can see where you're coming at from there for sure. I mean, we definitely have a recency. We definitely have a
small bias.
Small bias ourselves.
Yeah, maybe
here.
a small bias. That's fine.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and start off with the obvious. What I'm going to do here, AJ, is I'm going to go ahead and break down why I think this is going to be one of the most important rivalry games we have.
Yeah, let's get it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with the obvious, okay? So BYU has won 3 straight contests against their rivals from up north. We have had a video on this channel previously where we talked about how the Utah faithful, especially of a certain age, that haven't been around when Utah hasn't been the more successful program in Utah, in the state. Prior to this losing streak, the University of Utah has won 14 out of the last 17 matchups. That's going back with the last 3 and the full last 20 games they played against each other head-to-head. So another loss for Utah would put BYU kind of in signifying that position that we might be swinging back to BYU domination that we've seen in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. AJ, I want to pause for your thoughts on that, my friend.
I mean, it's a great point. You know what I mean? Like this is a pivotal game for Morgan Scalley especially, because as Utah fans, we got to win this game, right? Like we have to. No questions out. We have to win this game. As there's just no excuses to lose this game ever, because obviously we always feel like we're the better team. You know what I mean? So one of the things that Scalley's got to do, and we've watched it over the last couple of years, you got to take field goals when you get them. This is one that was really frustrated. You know, the game last year where they came into field goal range, decided not to kick a field goal, and ended up turning the ball over, didn't get any points out of it. That ended up being the difference in the game, and it happened multiple times. So plain and simple, no excuses. Take field goals. Be aggressive scoring the football. You got to win it. So this one's important for Scalley. I think to really get the Utah fan base to turn towards him. I think everyone's buying in. We all love it, but you definitely gotta wait.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one, man. I agree with you. It is an important game for them to win. But again, that's not really going to be the most important reason, AJ, for why this, I think, ranks as the most important rivalry game that this duo's ever seen.
Yeah.
So, how about this, AJ? Let's put it this way. This game this year will put these two teams in pretty much impacting the whole conference as its whole based off of this.
Yeah.
Coming in this game, AJ, we were expecting the University of Utah to pretty much be undefeated at that point, right? At least that's going to be the goal, is for Utah to be undefeated coming into this game. And we are expecting BYU to potentially have one loss to their non-conference opponent with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Right? So that kind of pretty much sets that up to where this game's going to be kind of important on stacking who's going to be the most important team. Where's the as far as power rankings in the Big 12?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is the pivotal game for both of these teams this season. No doubt about it.
And for the conference and how it's going to shake out.
That's exactly the point, because it essentially ends both teams' Big 12 and college football playoff hopes, or at least takes it out of their control, right? I mean, a loss means you are hoping for the other team to lose again, which is never what you want to do as a football team, right? You want to control your own destiny. So where winning this game gives you pretty much a lock at that number 2, right? Assuming Texas Tech is as good as we think they're going to be. Everything kind of rides on this one, man. I mean, and luckily it's a home game for the Utes. I absolutely love this. Rice-Eccles Stadiums is one of the toughest places to play in the country. I will go to bat for that every single time. If you've watched it, and if you've ever been to Rice-Eccles, you know that place gets so loud. It is very tough for opponents to play there. So having the tiebreaker against BYU is one thing. But obviously in the conference standings, and assuming that Utah slips one game this year, I mean, like we're not assuming Utah's going undefeated the whole season.
No.
But you slip one game, and then having the tiebreaker over BYU is going to be very important. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, it is the conference title game almost plays down to this one. This is going to be a fun game, man. If this is BYU's second loss, this changes their season drastically.
Oh yeah.
Right. Because A, they're out of, they don't hold the tiebreaker anymore. And B, they don't have a chance at that college at the Big 12 title game, which is their automatic bid.
Right.
Right. And then if they go to the college, if they lose, get into it, now they're a 3-loss team. Now, now the Big 12 is not even going to get that second team because who even chances? Right?
So that would flow nicely into our next topic, which we want to talk about, AJ, which is actually going to be the CFP. Now, it's funny, AJ, we were about 3 weeks out from the season even starting, and we're already talking about who's going to make it into the CFP or not. That's just how much farther we're projecting forward. We're not covering interviews.
Nah.
That's tough. You got people for that.
We're going to the end of the season, baby.
You got Locked On Utes and some other situations for that. You don't need us for that. ESPN
and they're credentialed media members. Just listen to the beginning of all their videos.
Just listen to them talk about that. Listen to them kiss the ass of whoever they're interviewing.
Yeah.
And not ask any hard questions. So, but anyway, so we want to talk about stuff that's actually going to be important, stuff that people are actually talking about now.
Yeah.
Right? Locker cooler talk. I mean, not locker cooler. Water cooler talk, right? So that's basically what we want to talk about is the CFP. So in this situation, AJ, this is what we're talking about. So here we are. So last year, the Big 12 Conference kind of got hosed last year, right? BYU was only lost to one team all year. It's just unfortunate they lost to the same team twice, which is drastically, even as Ute fans, we got to say, that's kind of an unfair shake for BYU.
Even as a Utah fan, that is a bad shake.
Yeah, because as a conference as a whole, right, we want to have representation there.
Yeah.
But in that situation,
and deserve to have a second team.
They deserve to have a second team. BYU should have been there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even how much it would have hurt us as Ute fans, that we felt like that should have happened, right? BYU only lost to one team all year, but then they kind of got hosed. Now, technically, they were a 2-loss team. Keeping that in mind, that made them fall out of the CFP from last season. But AJ, since both Utah and BYU do not play Texas Tech this year, this puts this conference in a very unique situation where we can, if we expect both Utah and BYU to have a good season, it is likely that we may see, it's a possibility. Let me ask you that. Is it more of a possibility that we're probably unlikely to not see two teams from the Big 12 in the CFP this year?
This is a tough one, man. And as crazy as it is, I think a lot of this absolutely depends on what happens in the BYU-Utah game. I mean, that is, it is all kind of centered. And I think so your question is, can the Big 12 produce 2 CFP teams? And it's what happens BYU-Utah? That is the answer. Because like you said, Texas Tech, they got a cush schedule. You know what I mean? So if Utah wins, they got a chance to be a 1-loss team in the regular season, right?
Right.
This is just assuming 1 loss somewhere. I mean, my personal pick, I think they lose the week after they beat BYU. Going to Arizona is a tough game. I think that's probably their 1 loss this season. So Utah being a 1-loss team means you get an auto bid into the CFP with a win in the title game, right? And I feel like the way BYU kind of got shafted last year, I could see the Utes getting a CFP bid even with a Big 12 title loss, right? Like even if they're a 1-loss team, they make it to the conference championship, they could still get in with a loss to Texas Tech just because of the way that they shafted BYU last year. They're like, I don't know if we're going to do this again because we clearly didn't do this right.
Yeah, I think if BYU got in there with 1 loss, and and that loss was but see, that's what they did last year. If you lose 2 games, if you lose to Utah and you lose to Notre Dame, but then you have to win the conference, and then you have the automatic bid, right?
Yep, exactly.
But if you beat Notre Dame and lose to Utah, or you beat Utah and lose to Notre Dame, then again, you're still just a 2-loss. One of those losses being to a top 5 team. You still, even if you lose to the conference champion, you kind of have to let BYU in again, specifically because of how much they screwed up last year. I think they still let them in then.
Yep, I totally agree. Because if BYU wins if BYU wins the Utah game, they are now a 1-loss team, assuming their 1 loss coming from Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's a pretty strong bid. That's a pretty strong case for a top 12 bid, even with a title game loss, right? Your 1 loss in regular season is to a non-conference opponent and one of the top probably 10 teams in the country.
Yeah, currently ranked 5. The preseason coaches poll has them at 5.
Yeah, I mean Notre Dame's they're always up there, right? I mean,
just by
but
prestige.
the crazy part about Notre Dame is they always lose a game really early in the season that they totally shouldn't lose.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that'll be
Kinda like
that's actually my concern is that BYU beats Notre Dame.
Yeah, so that's my follow-up question.
Yes,
is in that situation where let's say BYU beats Notre Dame, but then loses to Utah.
The good news is they're
then BYU goes into the conference championship and loses. They are still only a 2-loss team that lost their conference championship. So same situation as last year, just 1 in conference team. Let's say BYU.
I mean, some of these scenarios get all jumbled up in my head because that's kind of crazy to think. Because if they do beat Notre Dame, lose to Utah, they probably don't make the Big 12 title game.
Right, because
Utah's going to have the tiebreaker over them.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Okay, so then
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you're hoping for a bid into the top 12 based on your win over Notre Dame, a loss to Utah, who at this point is probably a top 10 team.
Right.
Right? So you're probably one of the top 10 to 15 teams in the country with 1 loss, but you didn't make your conference championship.
So I would still put those 2 teams in.
Well, but at that point, if Utah loses in the conference championship, how do you put BYU in over top of Utah, even if they lose?
No, I'm saying you still have 2 teams because you have Texas Tech, who gets the automatic bid,
and then hopefully Utah,
and then Utah because they're only a 1-loss team.
Right.
So
they would be a 2-loss team at that point.
Well, the conference championship, yeah. And only one other game would be in loss to.
Yeah.
Like we're assuming they're losing somewhere. So yeah, I still think in that situation Utah still gets in. So you have Texas Tech and Utah because Utah will only have a 1 loss and then a second loss would be.
So does BYU get in only being a 1-loss team without a loss in a conference championship? Because at that point they're 11-1 with their only loss to Utah, and they beat the number 5 team or whatever Notre Dame ends up being.
Right. So they would have the tiebreaker. So that would be an at-large. So in that situation, are we seeing 3?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We're going down the rabbit hole
here. We're down the rabbit hole, guys. Make sure you guys jump into the comments. Let us know what you think because we think the Big 12 can produce 2 college football teams.
I honestly don't see a way that they don't. I think that's my main argument is that regardless of how this shakes up, and let's just say for some reason, toss some salt over your shoulder, AJ, do whatever you got to do to hex it. But let's say, there's a different team in Utah or BYU spot here, and they're running this situation the same way. They're only a 1 or 2 loss team coming out of the conference championship. Can you keep them out of this CFP? And I don't think you can.
I don't think you can. I mean,
unless the conference beats up on each other.
Because the fact is the conference is going to beat up on each other, but they scheduled it this year so that teams, if they play the right way, all only have 1 loss.
Yeah, I don't see where BYU and Utah have more than 2 losses if they don't screw it up somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, okay, there's at least got to be 2 teams. I think we're pretty solid on we think that at least with the BYU and Utah schedules being as soft as they are, BYU is the only team out of the 2 that's actually playing a top 10 preseason ranked team. Right. Yeah. So and even then, it's Notre Dame who could quickly fall off, so
Notre Dame loses one they shouldn't lose every single year, man.
So it's kind of like, okay, they both have good players. Neither of them are playing Texas Tech. So we're kind of in a situation where I think it's kind of unless something catastrophic happens and, like I always say, this is an exercise in futility, trying to predict college football.
It really is.
Football
it really is.
Season.
But it's so much fun.
Yeah. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below.
Yeah.
We're going to hit some of these in the chat here. We've got Sydney. I can still not say your name right, dude.
McElreath, I got you.
McElreath, thank you. What is your opinion? Who's better? Bird Ficklin or Devin Dampier. I'm going with Devin Dampier just simply because I don't know, man. He was the better quarterback last year, and he was.
I'm gonna go also with Devin Dampier, but I think it's a much more narrow margin than it was last year.
Agreed.
Right? Because Bird reportedly through camp is throwing the ball much better, and like they are saying into the public that there will be packages where Bird's throwing the football. Now, is that a misdirection? Maybe, right? That's something you want to put out to the media. You want everyone to think every time Bird catches the ball, there's a chance that he's going to throw it. Totally understand that. I think Devin Dampier is elusive as they come. I think you don't have to design runs for him. He's going to take them. He is a more primarily passing quarterback. He is a better scrambling quarterback, where Bird is not as strong of a passer. His design running is so much better because he is really fast. He makes great cuts. I think he sees the field better as a running quarterback, but I think Devin Dampier is better at holding the ball, getting the ball up the field if he needs to, and then feeling pressure and escaping the pocket to make big plays. Devin Dampier, by a slim margin, is my opinion.
Yeah, I like this follow-up comment here by Sid. Both are really talented QBs, but I feel like Bird can be amazing next year when Devin leaves. Yeah, and I just think there's also another caveat to what Sid's saying there, is that you always hear where they talk about, like, oh, they're really going to open up the ball and they're going to start throwing it more. This is something that was teased every single fall camp going into the season
with Kyle Whittingham.
With Kyle Whittingham bringing in a new offensive coordinator, and we're going to open things up. We're going to throw the ball more. I love that that Scally kind of shut that down right at the gates. Like he just like, well, we're going to be a physical football team. Like when he's like, as soon as someone's like, oh, you're going to see them throwing a lot more passes this year than last year. He's like, well, we're going to be a physical football team, which is Utah speak for this team's not going to throw more than they run, right? And I think in that situation, they're always going to establish the run first to try and develop the passing game, right? To open up the backfield a little bit. That's always going to be Utah's style first. Run the ball is going to be where they're at. I think what Sid's point kind of matches on this is, like you even mentioned, that Bird Ficklin's going to be more of that type of design run than you're going to see with Devin, specifically for that reason. So in that case, I could see where they're coming from on that, because they're going to not want to lose that offensive identity. Because I think in one of the press conferences you mentioned that you want to leave Utah knowing you feel it the next day, the next week. You want to be like, oh man,
absolutely.
I don't want to play Utah because they hurt. They make us hurt. Yeah. Even when we win, they still make us hurt. So I don't know. I can see where he's coming from, but like you said, the margins are starting to get thin there for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is Bird knows that he's a quarterback of the future for Utah. You know what I mean? Like he's coming into this season knowing I've got one more season beyond Devin Dampier, and then this team's mine for 2 years if I want it.
It kind of feels like we kind of did that Wilson kid dirty that way, because he thought the same way. He's going to come in. He's thinking, what's his name?
But I mean, honestly, it wasn't necessarily Utah that did him dirty. It was Cam Rising getting hurt that really did him in, right? Because he knew he wasn't ready to be a starting quarterback in Division I football.
No.
Right? Like he played for the best team in high school football at Corner Canyon. Had a great season, set every record there was. He knew it was going to get a lot more difficult, but he was planning on coming in and learning how to read the field, learning to adjust to the speed, playing with all the twos. You know what I mean? Like he needed that opportunity to learn and grow, and he didn't get it because Cam got hurt.
Yeah.
So, but Bird Ficklin's in a really unique situation because they're running an offense around him. So he's getting time on the field with design runs for him. Especially if they do put the opportunity for him to throw the ball in here and get some throws. I mean, he made like 15 passes last year, had a pretty good percentage, threw a couple touchdowns. Bird Ficklin's going to have an opportunity to keep growing as a quarterback, and that's going to be really important when it's on him fully to run this Utah offense, and then to have a whole nother year under his belt, learning the offense, understanding terminology, making reads while he's on the field. Bird Ficklin's going to be great when he's the starting quarterback for Utah next year.
Do you know his completion percentage last year?
It's something crazy. It's probably like 66%.
See, I was going to say 67.
Yeah, it's something high, but I think he only threw 15 or 20 passes last year.
Yeah, I'm starting to think, I'm like, do I have that stat in my head? I think I had that stat in my head.
It's something right in there. Yeah, for sure.
Lumpy brains right here. Big brains.
Boom.
We just hold on to that stuff.
Yeah.
Soak it up
keep the questions coming. I love this.
Love this.
Yeah.
Locked on Utes, LMFAO. Yeah, right. You know,
I just hope you like our Utah content better than Locked on Utes, Greg.
Yeah. And, you know, it's just... Again, that's why we do this, right? Like it's we wanted to create a show where it's kind of like you belly up to the bar with your buddies, whether it's a dry bar or not, and then you're just talking sports.
Yeah.
Right. You're just chatting sports. Nobody's got an agenda. No one's got a press pass. No one's got a sponsor. They got to keep happy.
No.
We just want to create a place for everybody to chat, and talk sports, and be able to call each other idiots in the comments, because that's where it's really fun.
Usually what happens. Yeah, we get called idiots in the comments quite a bit, so I can take it. It doesn't even hurt my feelings anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. 5,000 subscribers later, I can take it.
Yeah.
Did I mention that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
2 monetized YouTube sports channels. But yeah, anyway, we appreciate it, folks. Thanks for joining us again. Jump in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are on either subject we talked about today. Do you see this as being one of the most important holy wars that we've had in these teams' glorious, like almost 200-year history with these two schools?
Yep.
Do you see it as being as important as we do? Because again, it's really up there, man. It's got an impact on both just who's got bragging rights in the state, and way beyond that, and simply how it's going to shape up how things are going to go for the Big 12 and even the CFP going forward. So
yep, absolutely.
We want to hear from you. All right, let's go ahead and jump and chat a little bit about Major League Baseball.
Let's do it.
But first, before we get into the content, folks, we'd like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Major League DNA, and make sure you smash that like button for your boy AJ right over there.
Do it.
All right, man. Let's gonna talk some ball. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And this has been such a crazy year in Major League Baseball. Like, and it's funny because the team that we're about to talk about is not the team that any of us thought we would be talking about at this point in the season, right? Like,
no,
but because to start the season off, this team was so bad, right? And
yeah, like in the beginning of June, they had the worst record in the American League,
and it looked like they were just going to be in full on sell mode at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, just get rid of everybody. Like, we've obviously got to break this thing, down to the bare bones. We got to see what we got. Let's move some assets. Let's get in some guys. Like, we got to go get some prospects, maybe Dodger style. I don't know. You know what I mean? Let's do something, right? So I didn't know we were going to be here. You know what I mean? Especially talking about the Boston Red Sox, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, right? This is a team that was 14 games under 500, and all of a sudden they go to an absolutely crazy and win 27 in their last 30 games, including a historic 13-game winning streak, something 15. That Boston was it more than 13?
15, yeah.
Was it 15? Okay, they pushed it to 15. So, which is something that Boston hasn't seen since 1948. So, and then right when you think this team couldn't get any more dangerous, find any more of a groove, at the deadline they added Adley Rutschman, right? And now with an already incredible turnaround, you think is Adley Rutschman potentially one of those pieces that kind of makes this team truly dangerous? What are your thoughts, Darren?
I mean, yeah. It's really tough to argue the addition of Adley Rutschman's not going to help this team.
Right.
Right. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I think in our pre-meeting, you talked about the potential of it affecting chemistry, maybe.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we were talking about before. But yeah, I think you're 100% right. Adding Adley Rutschman's going to, at the deadline was a smart move. I mean, Connor Wong was the guy who had the most starts at catcher outside of him, and he wasn't bad. But this is what you're adding, man. Adley Rutschman has an OPS plus of 115. Again, OPS plus average is 100, so he's 15 points above average there. It puts him at 2 WAR so far for this season. Connor Wong again was their current starter. Adley was double Wong in WAR, RBI, and home runs. So his stats are double Wong's numbers.
That's insane.
Right? So he also has a higher slug, OPS plus, and batting average. Now, Wong has more stolen bases and on-base percentage because we know how important stolen bases are.
MVP.
That's right. So, yeah, in all fairness, man, yeah, I think those stats do matter, and I do think it's important. Wong isn't necessarily a bad catcher at all, but with adding Adley Rutschman, it's definitely going to be an upgrade. He's a switch hitter, all the stuff that comes along with that as well. Wong can come off the bench and give Wilson Contreras some breathing room at first base, get him off his feet because Connor Wong does play first base as well.
Right.
So, Wilson Contreras, who's just been an absolute fiend out there, just a beast. Later in innings, if it's a blowout game either way, you can get Wilson Contreras off his feet. Connor Wong can slot in there. You also can have him off the bench as a bat when you need it. Yeah, man. And obviously Adley's coming back from injury, so you're not going to have him start every game of the week. You're probably going to give him a couple starts, give him a rest, give him a blow for a game. Let Connor Wong come in there, and then you'll have Adley coming off the bench. I just think this is a nice fit for the Red Sox, and they just really are adding premier talent at the deadline when they really need to. I mean, yeah, again, they traded for him right before free agency. So, again, another 3-month rental, just like you said, pulling a Dodger there. But, yeah, man, I mean, if you want to play he probably is not happy about it. He probably thought he was going to be an Oriole for life and really going to free agency as an Oriole. But, I mean, at this point, I think he'd rather be on a contender going into a lockout year when he really had no idea where his next contract's coming from anyway. So I think everybody's going to be happy on this one. I don't think it's really going to be a chemistry issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I heard something mentioned on the Braves broadcast today that, as a player that gets traded, are you upset that you got traded midseason? And one of the guys said, I was never upset because clearly some team out there wanted me. Right. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to go out there and do my best and give this team everything I have. He's like, especially if it's in a contract year. You know what I mean? Like, this is your shot to prove that you deserve the next contract. I think he's got a great opportunity to go out there and keep doing this. And this could turn out very well for the Boston Red Sox.
I think so, too. I think, and just not to switch sports, but do you remember the comment that Kyle Korver said in one of his graduation commencement speeches? When you have an alma mater come back and give a speech.
I don't remember.
So he stood up on stage at his alma mater in college and says, first line was cash considerations. First time I was traded was for cash considerations so the team could buy a new color printer. He's like, that's something I carried with me for the rest of my career. That's why I put those extra hours in the gym. I was never going to let somebody degrade me to below cash considerations ever again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even in the situation where, someone didn't want you and they just wanted to dump you,
or
they knew they couldn't afford to pay you, either way, you're going to go out there and you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to prove you wrong, or I'm going to.
Yeah, it's all about taking advantage of that opportunity, man.
Absolutely. You got to love it.
Every single time, man.
Do you hear a lot of the Dodgers fans that are talking back and forth about the statements that, and this is something I want to talk about with you because, again, you are a resident Braves fan.
Yes, that's correct.
And this is important.
That's correct.
So Tarek Skubal basically came out and just said, I don't have any patience for anybody who's whining about the Dodgers going in and improving their game, saying all the right things, right, when people are talking about
absolutely
how the
that's
Dodgers
his job
in baseball, right? Then he made comments about it like, oh, you're a pending free agency. What do you think? And he's like, oh, yeah, I absolutely hope the Detroit Tigers are in the conversation. I would love to go back and play there.
Yeah.
There's a small minor section of the Dodgers fan base who are like, hey, whoa, dude.
Yeah, pump the brakes.
You are here right now,
Yeah.
And they all kind of contributed back to when Freddie Freeman became a Dodger and he went back to Atlanta, and that guy could not stop crying in the field, could not stop crying in the press conference.
I mean, the Braves is a great organization.
That's neither here nor there, AJ. That's not the part we're talking about. I want to get your perspective on, like, how do you feel about that? Because in this situation, the Braves didn't sign Freddie Freeman. He just wanted an extra year. Freddie Freeman should have never gotten to free agency.
Absolutely.
So they didn't pay you, and you signed a free agent contract somewhere, and you still bawled your eyes out.
Yeah.
Tarek Skubal didn't get a say in any of this. He was just traded to the highest bidder, quote unquote, highest bidder.
Yeah, there's a whole video on that. Make sure you guys check that one out on MLB DNA last week.
Yeah. Nice little rant from AJ there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great rant from AJ.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and he came to his defense. Freddie Freeman came to Tarek Skubal's defense on this. And I don't know, man. What's your take on it, dude? Like, how do you feel about a team saying how much they hope their former team's still in the bidding process for when,
I think a lot of it's just these guys being classy, man. You know what I mean? I think at this point for any MLB player, going into a season or playing in the middle of a season, I sincerely don't think that they're thinking about where they're going to be playing next year. I think that they're in it. They're with that team. They're fully immersed in the culture of the team that they're on, and they're not actually looking forward to playing anywhere else. I think they're saying things to appease the media. If they have any future like ideas of where they want to play, I highly doubt it comes out in one of these media interviews.
Yeah, and
Like,
honestly,
I think it's pretty innocent.
they asked the question. What do you want him to do?
Well, exactly.
Dunk on the team?
You're gonna be like, no, screw the Tigers. I would never play there again. Like, you definitely can't do that.
yeah, Scott Boras would ream you if you took a player
but
off
also-
the market.
yeah,
a
but
team
also-
off the market.
At that point, every single team's gonna be like, did you hear how this guy talked about the Tigers after he was there? Like, they gave him his career.
Right? Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
no, you can't do that. So you've got to be, you know, I'm glad that Scooball did it just the way he did it, because it shows that he's a classy person. It shows that, you know, even though the Tigers are having a rough year and having a down year, you know, he's willing to go play wherever. You know, he doesn't got anything against the organization that gave him a career.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the right move. I think it's the right thing to do. And again, I don't think that he's doing anything that's projecting where he'd want to play in the future. I think it's just answering a question that was asked to him in the media.
Yeah, and I wholeheartedly respect it. I think it's even less of a issue than what Freddie Freeman did.
Yeah,
Because even Clayton Kershaw's like, hey, dude, you know, we got something great going on over here.
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
if you know, you're a Dodger now, you chose to sign here, you need to want to be here. Like,
Yeah.
he said that in the media, and then Freddie Freeman kind of shut it down after that. You know, so it's kind of like when Tarek Skubal said what he said, I'm right there with you. I didn't have any issues with it. I just wanted to get your take on that because I think it's kind of interesting to hear, because again, you had a player that left your team for greener pastures, and you know, had a similar reaction but more on the field. So I was just curious what your thoughts were.
I think being on the field would be much more different.
Yeah.
Much more different.
Yeah, and honestly, there's a whole thing about his agent screwing things up on the back end, and he didn't know what the Braves' final offer was, yada, yada, yada. I still argue the Braves should never let him get to free agency, but that's
No,
just
they absolutely shouldn't have. I mean, there's no question there. I mean,
Yeah.
he just shouldn't have been there. But I think it just shows again that this is a classy player that is giving his appreciation to the fans that went out there and cheered for every night and bought his jerseys and made him into the player that he was. And that's the right way to approach that scenario, right? Like, he had a house there. He had he raised his kids there. Like, he did all the things, you know, in Atlanta that he came to love it there. And Freddie Freeman did it the right way. I think Terry Skuball's doing it the right way. I think that's part of being the player that you're supposed to be.
Absolutely. We're going to hit some of these comments here before we jump to the next one there. Well said, AJ. Well said. For a subject we weren't even planning on talking about.
Yeah, there was no notes on that. That was 100% conversation.
Got a comment here from Greg Hawkins saying Cubs, Braves, Dodgers still at the top of the league.
Go Braves.
Brewers imploding.
Love that.
Love to hear that.
Love
we got a
that.
series coming up against them soon here.
Yep.
And we also got a comment here. Meanwhile, the Rays are still at the top of the AL. Unserious league over there in the AL. Yeah, dude. And they've been scuffling a little bit lately. I don't know what their last 10 is. I don't know if we have that quickly. But, yeah, it's not looking great for them, I think, from what I saw there. Even they are seeming to have a bit of a scuffle. If we were to go into, the Rays, never mind. They won 9 straight. Never mind. They're 9-1.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad 10.
That's not a bad 10.
That's not bad for the last 10.
Correction. I guess that was previously. I don't know. But yeah, dude, 74 wins on a 9-game winning streak, and their best team is, that's funny. Yeah, straight to your point there, Greg. It's a 9-game winning streak, and they're not even at the same level. They're basically at 74 wins when, pretty much all 3 of our teams are going to be right around there too. And none of us have, been there. I think that's interesting. But yeah, anyway, stick around, Greg. We got something we want to talk about.
Yeah, like right now, actually. Yeah. And this, I'm sure you saw it in the title of this video, and I'm sure that's probably why you're still watching.
Yeah.
We wanted to have the conversation.
We did preface it last week.
We did. We did, absolutely. And then we did our notes, and then we had to readjust our notes this morning.
Banger subject coming up next week that we had to kick out of this week.
We did for this current subject. So you guys make sure you tune in next week as well. But
yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Going to be a good one.
This week right now, we want to talk about Pete Crow-Armstrong and what is his case for winning MVP over Shohei Ohtani. So PCA is putting together an incredible season for the Cubs, right? He's turned himself into a legitimate MVP candidate. He currently leads Major League Baseball with 7.5 BWAR, while he's also leading the league in fielding run value and outs above average. So this isn't just a defensive showcase for this, right? Like he's bringing power, speed, production, and obviously he's got elite defense. He's bringing all that to the table for the Cubs, doing everything he can to prove his point that he's one of the most valuable players in the National League. So I think his defensive impact is probably what's bringing the most to the table. He is hitting the ball great. He does have 27 home runs this season, which is great. 72 RBIs.
RBI. We don't pluralize it.
Yeah, I guess that wouldn't really work, huh? Run batted ins.
Yeah. It's a baseball stat there that a lot of people say, and it's just like one of those things that baseball purists would get on you about, which I guess I'm not really one
It
of
would
them.
actually be RSBI.
RSBI. If you were gonna
pluralize it,
if you're gonna pluralize
RSBI.
Yeah, which is even more ridiculous.
Yeah, that actually is a little bit more ridiculous. Anyways, like I said, with all those things that he's currently leading in, combining elite defense, 27 home runs, 72 RBIs, .933 OPS, it really gives him an MVP case based on 5-tool production rather than just offense.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts, Darren?
I mean, the standard argument for an Ohtani fanboy, right? Are some of the things that I need to point out, right? So, like, if I was going to sit here and argue for Ohtani, what would I say, right? Well, what's PCA's ERA, right? How many wins does he have this year, right? That would be the gut check reactions of things I would say about PCA for why I think Ohtani deserves to have the MVP over him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm supposed to say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Shohei Ohtani does still lead the league in OPS at 940, still leads the league in OPS plus at 162, again, 100 being average. He also leads PCA in OBP as well as walks. He's got one more home run over PCA has one home run over him because Shohei has 26, PCA has 27. And Shohei Ohtani might get back on the mound in September as long as he's at least an average pitcher. It really doesn't matter. The sheer two-way, thing is basically just a mic drop in this scenario. If they're that close offensively and Shohei's on the mound and pitching at least average, that's going to still be the ultimate trump card there. Like, you're like, it doesn't matter. Like, he's still doing both at the same time and being, doing this awesome thing, right? But, AJ, I'm not going to say any of that.
Okay.
Even though I just said it, that's not what I'm going to say.
You did just say all of it. I mean,
yes,
for the record.
For the record. But that's not what I'm saying.
It's actually on the internet.
Yeah, it is on the internet. And that's what I should be saying as a Shohei Ohtani fanboy, right? But as a Dodgers fan and as an Ohtani fanboy, Ohtani is not playing like an MVP. And I'm not even just saying at the plate. It's not even just the fact that he's not injured. He's just not playing that well at the plate. He'll get the occasional leadoff home run, right? 26 home runs, nothing to sneeze at, right? That's still pretty good, right? And he's still leading in OPS plus, on-base percentage, still leading the league in walks, and not leading the league in walks, but still beating out PCA for walks. Still a lot of offensive categories that he's over PCA on, with the exception of WAR, which I think is going to be the most important stat here. But he'll also still get the random leadoff home run, the still random single to right field. But as somebody who's watched as many Shohei Ohtani at-bats as I have and as many Dodger games that I have seen this year, I'll have to say, as a Dodgers fan and even as an Ohtani fanboy, there are about 2 or 3 Dodger players I'd rather see at the plate right now when the game is on the line than Shohei Ohtani. Unless Shohei Ohtani goes on like a crazy tear for the rest of the year, from the plate as well as coming back to the mound and does okay there, I don't see how you can't currently give the award to PCA.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, the fact is PCA has been fantastic. I mean, just so you guys understand, the fielding run value that he leads in, this is an advanced defensive metric that demonstrates how many runs his defense is preventing compared to the average player, right? So, yes, understandably, Shohei Ohtani is a fantastic pitcher.
Yeah,
and ERA is one of those stats that they use to gauge how a pitcher plays.
I just think a good pitcher is going to, their value and run reduction is going to be better than any outfielder, regardless of how good it is.
It is.
But the fact that PCA is I think he's a Platinum Glove winner this year, which is only an award, for those of you who don't know, only one position player gets a Platinum Glove.
Yeah.
And you have to have an insane season. Think about how all the great outfielders out there in baseball, infielders, outfielders, there's only one person who gets a Platinum Glove. And I think it would be a shocker if PCA doesn't win it.
Yeah.
The Platinum Glove. That's how good he's doing out there. And he's been on an absolute tear offensively ever since he put that homer into the tarps off session.
Yep, that was the time, man. And we covered that one extensively. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is absolutely unbelievable how well he's been. So, yeah, I mean, if you're watching Dodger games, you're probably thinking, like, how, Darren, how can you do that? Like, there has just been way too many times where Shohei Ohtani comes up with the game on the line, and he could even just put the ball, like, in the outfield with a double, something like that, and the game is over. I watch him chase a slider down and away or chase a high fastball or ground out to first base every single time, and it's always the player behind him that is making the play that gets the Dodgers the win. It has not been Shohei Ohtani this year. And again, he is injured. I can't state this enough as a player who wants to see him play well, but imagine if you had to have fluid drained from your knee, to the point where you can't, step off the mound anymore. How hard do you think it's going to be to still run on that leg? How hard do you think it's going to still be to swing on that leg? I mean, yeah, he is playing injured. So people are like, oh, Judge, he'd win the MVP if he wasn't injured. Keep in mind, Ohtani is injured still.
Right. Absolutely.
He is injured. If he was healthy, this wouldn't even be a debate, right? But he's not, and he's definitely playing like a player who is hurt. Just most players would still hang it up. He's not. He's playing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that takes away anything at all from what PCA is doing.
So I want to break this down to the 3 letters of what this award actually means and ask you a question. Is there a player? So this is the most valuable player. Is there a player more important to their team in offensive and defensive production than PCA is to the Cubs at their current 71-50 record? One of the best teams in
the National League?
National League, American League. I mean, I guess you put in American League, it's a little more hairy. But
Jordan Alvarez is clearly.
So let's just say in the National League where he's going to win the MVP award. Is there a player more critical to their team than PCA is to the Cubs right now?
No.
In your opinion, I guess.
No. I think if there was, you could make an argument for the Miz because there has been historical evidence of pitchers getting an MVP.
I think he is as important, but he's not producing offensively, obviously.
Right. But pitchers have won MVPs in the past.
Absolutely.
And Cy Young's in the same year.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't think I still would put PCA way above him. Yeah. So those are more of honorable mentions. But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Easily.
And I guess that's all I'm saying, right? Like,
yeah.
You look at it from a very particle grain level, and there is not a player more important to their team right now than PCA is to the Cubs. That's kind of where I'm feeling. Like, you can look at all the statistics you want. You can say he's doing great on defense, but they're winning, and the way that they're playing relates to how he's producing on offense. He's obviously an outstanding defensive player. They need him right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
You lose PCA from the Cubs right now. How many games do they lose in a row? Greg Hawkins, I know you're a Cubs fan. What do you think?
Yeah, we got a comment here from channel legend Greg Hawkins. PCA is playing out of his mind this year, guys. It's amazing to see. He's taking his walks, and he has a bunch more selective since.
Yeah, been much more selective since
more selective since May.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's been playing huge dividends. Yeah, that was a big thing for him. Is his chase rate's way down this year, way down. Tammy Price, friend of the channel, jumps in here and says, I hate to see it. I hate to say it, but I need to see more clutch from Shohei. He's so amazing, but
I agree.
I agree.
Yep.
Let's see here. Then he needs to sit for a while. Ohtani may need to sit for a while, but that's just simply not going to happen. Like, he's not going to do that. Ohtani is like Tiger Woods. PCA is like John Daly.
That's actually a legendary comparison.
Yeah, that's actually great. I love it. Because some of the stuff PCA says, man, ever since he told that fan what she could do for him, that was interesting, and then getting into it with Dodgers fans, talking about that, even though it's his hometown team, it's hilarious.
It's kind of fun. It kind of reminds you that these players are human.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And then we got Tammy coming from the top ropes here. Of course, Ohtani hits a 2-run go-ahead homer tonight. Yeah, of course. But the fact that they actually were down to the Royals at all is just, an embarrassment of itself. But yeah, great stuff, man. Absolutely love it. It's been great to see PCA and what he's been doing. It's been fun, man. The National League is clearly the better league this year. It's gonna be fun to see who gets those last spots. in the wild card. And yeah, more to come. Great, more comments, guys. Jump in the chat. Let us know what your thoughts are. If you're watching this after the fact on Major League DNA, make sure you jump into the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are. Also, let us know what subjects you guys want us to discuss as we're going in the dog days of August here.
Yeah, no kidding. I got one more thing.
Sure.
Okay, did you see that there is currently a 4-way tie for the most home runs in Major League Baseball?
What? No way.
Yeah, 4-way tie. So Kyle Schwarber, Yordan Alvarez, Matt Olson, and Junior Caminero are the 4 players that currently have 35 home runs in Major League Baseball right now.
35? Wow.
So this is the latest point in the season that there's been a 4-way tie for a home run leader since 1982. In that season, all 4 of those players had 34 home runs, and it was broken 2 weeks later when they finally pushed past it. So like every week they were just tying.
Wow.
So I don't know. I thought it was kind of a fun stat. I mean, obviously I love, one of those guys in there is Matt Olson. So,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So who do you think comes out on the end?
I mean, I hope it's Matt Olson. I'm gonna say that right now. Okay, let's go with Matt Olson. Continues to lead the league.
Yeah, I see it ending with Yordan Alvarez, man, the AL MVP runaway. I think he's gonna end the season with the most home runs in baseball.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber, man, he can do it, but Father Time escapes from nobody, and they've just leaned on him so much over the last couple of years.
They put a lot of pressure on Schwarber.
Yeah, so I don't know, man.
They're like, we really need one here, man.
Yeah, exactly. And he's performing. He's doing it.
He's doing it. That's important.
For sure. Yeah. That's the kind of money that Max Muncy would get paid right now if he wasn't a team guy. Again, see the video for the most underrated player in baseball. We'll link it somewhere. We got a question here. We got a comment here from Greg Hawkins. I swear they're juicing the balls again this year. Yeah, I mean, maybe 35 though. Like, that's the lead in home runs.
I think we're just past the All-Star break though.
I mean, there's only 41 games left in the season, less than 45 games. So
that puts a few players on track for 55 or 60 though.
Okay, I guess you're right. I guess there is that.
You know what I mean?
55. If we have a couple, there's always a few that could get close to 50. So
yeah,
we'll see how it ends up. So yeah, probably right there, Greg. Probably has a lot to do with the pitch clock and all those other stuff going on in Major League Baseball for sure.
I think so, because I think the pitch clock is affecting pitcher fatigue. You know what I mean? Especially when you get into these later innings, pitchers are having to throw the ball much faster, which is going to get them fatigued a little bit faster. Yeah, you are seeing some bullpens, but I don't know. That's an interesting thing to talk about, actually.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that one more time too on baseball, because we had one of those comments there on our highest performing video on the channel is Yoshinobu Yamamoto is killing the myth of pitch limits. Chris Sale, being like what 58 years old, going out there and
65. Yeah, he's near retirement,
showing that he can still throw.
Highest velocity in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Touching 100.
Yeah. And being reliable as a pitcher, so like it's pretty crazy. Actually, we did want to make, can we talk about,
I know exactly who this is.
This is great. Yeah, actually we did want to make a comment on that actually. So we have something on the set here that we have called for the longest time.
Thanks, John.
We call this Ennis decanter. It's a whiskey decanter, right?
Yeah.
We are officially now pulling his namesake off of this, and this is just a decanter.
This is just decanter now. It's not Ennis decanter like it was before.
Yes, this was named Ennis decanter. Now it's just a decanter on set. So that kind of lets you know where we're sitting on that whole thing. Yeah, good times. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Anything we talked about when it comes to Major League Baseball, as well as any other subject we talk about on DNA Sports Recap. If you're watching us on the live stream there, check out the links below for all of our sub channels and subscribe to there so you don't miss out on any of our other content we post up.
Absolutely. And if you're watching on YouTube on one of our short videos, just know this is available as a podcast wherever you get your audio.
With all that said, my name is Darren. That is AJ, and this has been an episode of the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.